T&D Sports, an exclusive video broadcast. T&D Sports Video presents High School Lacrosse. Today it's the Blue Devils of Huntington High School traveling to Farmingdale to take on the Dalers. Hi everyone and welcome to Farmingdale High School right here in Farmingdale, New York for our T&D High School Lacrosse presentation. My name is Mike Trezza. I'm joined by former Comac and Oyster Bay coach Charlie Rizzuto. Charlie, let's talk about this Huntington team for just a minute. It's a team that's well coached by Coach Watts. It's a team that's talented, balanced. They had good success last year, and they're looking to build on that this year.
Yeah, 100%. Well coached with Coach Watts. They have a great staff on the sideline with him. They fell in the semis last year to Hills, who was the eventual county champion. They have 2 competitive scrimmages under their belt so far this year, and they're looking to get after it for their first game today.
And for Huntington, we don't want to call him Mr. Do-It-All, but we'll call him Mr. Do-A-Lot-of-It. You see him right there, number 20 on your screen, Luca Cuso.
Yeah, I'm super excited to watch Luca Cuso play. He's a unique breed of lacrosse player. He's going to face off for the Blue Devils as well as play attack. And down there on the attack end, he's their quarterback with great vision and a great IQ.
For Farmingdale, Charlie, for Coach Dunn's squad, you see his squad there on your screen. It's a team that made it all the way to the state final last year, so obviously really good success for them, and they're a team that's built from the back forward.
Yeah, not just this year. Farmingdale is historically known for being a great defensive team with great goaltending, and they have that again this year. They lost last year in overtime in the state championship, and they're looking to get back and bring it home.
And we're going to take a look at one of their defensive players. That's number 40, Matt Ippoliti, you see on your screen. According to Coach Dunn, if you see him in the hall, a nice kid. If you run into him on the lacrosse field, not as nice a kid.
Yeah, Ippoliti definitely has a mean streak. Once he steps in between the lines, he's a good one-on-one defender with great feet. I'm curious to see how he handles Huntington's top matchups today, and I'm excited to see him play.
We're going to step away and be back with the opening face-off right after this and all the action. You're watching T&D Sports Video brought to you by Lessings Hospitality Group. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Start your day off the right way with Peace, Love, and Bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4-Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American Fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with Peace, Love, and Bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4-Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Just about set for the opening face-off from here at Farmingdale. Mike Trezza, Charlie Rizzuto on hand. In the face-off circle to start the game, Kuzo against Damo. Kuzo comes away with it. Huntington in the blue moves left to right to start the game.
Yeah, you see Kuzo coming to the box right now to swap out his face-off stick to get his stick and go down and play attack. Curious to see how they navigate that during the rest of the game with the shot clock this year.
Huntington, as we mentioned, coached by Julian Watts, and Farmingdale by Coach Dunn.
Yeah, Coach Watts, a St. Anthony's product, went to Hofstra. Coach Dunn from Wantagh played his college lacrosse at Albany.
Huntington loses the ball. It's back the other way with Goodrich. Goodrich has it knocked off his stick, and Huntington regains.
Yeah, great ride there by Huntington. If you ask any college or varsity lacrosse coach, keys to the early season, it's riding and clearing, and there's a great ride to start the game.
Lennon tries to feed in front. That goes past the stick of Kamenstein.
Yeah, great backdoor cut by Kamenstein right there. Just off the mark with the feed. Maybe some early season first game jitters, but that's good vision from the top of the field.
The Dalers in white go on offense for the first time.
All right, Farmingdale finishing their substitution patterns. They have their offensive guys on now, ready to settle into their set.
Including Kama, 99, who now has possession. Kama towards the goal. Nice save that time by Fallon.
Yeah, Fallon, a 2-year starter, but again, first game of the season. It's nice to get that first save on that first shot. That's a good alley dodge right there by Kama. He's a big boy, loves to soak checks. Good spot on the shot, better save.
Tommy Klein with possession on the far side, carries in. We didn't get to zero in on our goalie matchup. It's Fallon for Huntington and Hughes for Farmingdale.
Yeah, Hughes, he's a first-year starter, but he's carrying on that tradition of great goaltending at Farmingdale. Another nice look there, just couldn't connect. Hughes going to Bridgeport next year.
Ball is tracked down by Hughes as the official falls down on the far side.
Huntington has an opportunity here to go early offense.
Nice break. Here's Lennon. He scores.
That's a juice goal right there. Again, ride hard. Little of a mishandle on the sideline there by Farmingdale. Huntington picks up the ball, recognize an opportunity to go early. Push transition. You got to step on the defender coming down. Read the slide, kick the ball out right away, recognize the trailer, time and room, get your back hip into it, extend, good spot on the shot.
Rocket ship shot by Colin Lennon puts Huntington on the board first. They lead 1-0.
Kuzo with a clean win on the last face-off. Let's see if the Farmingdale face-off man makes any adjustments.
Damo and Kuzo will take the draw once again. Once again, Kuzo gets low and gets possession. Here's a shot. That went high.
Yeah, good rip by Kamenstein. Good backup by McDonald. Looks like Kuzo is staying off right now.
Comes up top to Lennon. There's a score by Huntington. Quickly, they're up 2-0.
Yeah, Lennon dodges to the left, rolls back to his right. Farmingdale shows. They slide early, dips his shoulder into the defender's chest to keep his hands free, recognizes that he has his hands free from a spot where he could shoot from, lets it fly, bounces the ball out in front of goalie, tucks it under the crossbar, and 2-0 Huntington.
Colin Lennon 2, Farmingdale nothing in the early going here.
Yeah, he's off to a good start. It's nice. You get your first couple the fall, you're feeling confident, especially in a big game. Nassau-Suffolk battle, 2 top-tier teams.
Kuzo and Damo again will go at it, and again it's Kuzo who gains possession. Still trying to scoop it, and finally it's controlled.
Yeah, good 50-50 ground ball win there by the Blue Devils. Another opportunity.
And another score! This time it's Kamenstein.
Yeah, great look on the backside. So you see Kamenstein just settle into the pocket right there, wait for the feed. That's 2 shots, hip high, stick side, that went for Huntington.
And this time it's going to be Logan Jenna who's going to take the draw for Farmingdale.
Yeah, sometimes the face-offs is just matchups, right? Depending on the the skill set of their face-off guy, you put a different guy out there, see if he could find some success.
Jenna trying to get low, but Kuzo even lower. Let's see what happens. Kuzo comes away with it, 4 for 4.
Yeah, Kuzo goes out the front again. Quick hands.
This time Huntington will slow it down and work it around.
Yeah, it's nice to settle into your set right now. You got a 3-0 lead. You shun the shot clock. Get your personnel on. There's no reason to press a bad situation here.
Huntington up 3-0, 8:15 left in the first. Tommy Klein with possession. Now with Schnitzer. They take it away from him, and back the other way is Farmingdale. Here's a shot by the defenseman and a save by Fallon.
Yeah, there was a attackman on the back pipe, possibly had the look there for a better shot. But again, you got your hands free from a good spot to shoot. You got the green light to let it rip.
Once again, Huntington will try to take some of this shot clock, work it around just a little bit.
Yeah, Kevin Renison on that last possession moved to a nice spot on the backside. Just couldn't find him.
Tommy Klein back behind the goal.
Huntington had a throwback.
For space, he puts it wide.
Yeah, Huntington had a throwback on that wing dodge. I'm curious to see if that's an action they go to later.
The Devils keep possession. Kamenstein brings it in. Thought about turning and firing. Instead gives it off to Lennon. He scores!
That's a rip by Lennon. So if you watch the replay here, Lennon gets the ball, sets his feet, uses the defender as a screen. That time he goes off stick side high to that near high corner. Great placement, great decision, great vision to use the defender as a screen. Goalie can't pick up the ball as early as he wants to.
Lennon, the leader of the band, early on here today.
That's a good one.
Damo is back out there for the face-off. He'll work once again against Kuzo.
Yeah, Kuzo's been going out the front. Curious to see if Damo blocks his exit. Plays a defensive posture here on the face-off. Kuzo goes early.
This time Damo has possession. He works into the zone. He fires. He scores!
That's how you get yourself rolling. As a face-off guy, your opponent goes early. You pick up the ball. You push the pace, shoot on the run going down the alley to a good spot. Looked like the goalie got a small piece, but enough juice on that shot that he couldn't make the save.
J.J. Damo says, I'm not going to wait for my offensive guys. I'm going to get us on the board myself.
Yeah, that's got to get Damo going. Nothing fires a face-off guy up like going down the field and putting one in the back of the net.
His reward is he gets to take another face-off against Kuzo. Kuzo wins it cleanly.
Sounds like there was the whistle. Neither face-off guy moved right away. Officials looking at each other afterwards, but no stop and play.
Did seem a little bit strange on that.
Yeah, I definitely heard a whistle. Looked like there was a delay for both face-off guy. I don't think Damo moved at all.
Fox is now on at attack for Huntington. McDonald gives it off to Fox.
That's a similar action that Huntington ran before on that far wing where they had the throwback. This time they threw down coming off that two-man game.
Kamenstein has to give it up to Tommy Klein. Klein will fire, and Klein will put it in.
Klein puts his right foot in the ground, pushes back on that split dodge, dodges hard, left-handed across the top of the box. If you watch it here on the replay, quick jab step, gets to his left hand, time and room, shoots high to that far side.
Tommy Klein, the top midi on this team, according to Coach Watts, Charlie.
Yeah, Coach Watts is looking for not only a big game today, but a big season out of Tommy Klein. Coach Dunn also identified him as a matchup that they needed to pay attention to.
Damo and Kuzo will go at it once again. Huntington up 5-1. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, and
Kuzo
only one of
comes away with
Huntington
it.
goals was on the ground.
Lennon back on the field, takes possession, moves to his left.
Huntington being patient, getting the right personnel on the field.
They lead 5-1 here at Farmingdale. Throwing a little bit of a shock into the Dalers in the early going here.
Yeah, and I really like what Coach Dunn's doing right now. He's letting his kids play through it. Non-conference game early in the season, letting them go compete. No early timeout. Great take.
That time it was Tim McDonald who put it in at point-blank range.
Yeah, Tim McDonald not only dodging in a small space, but puts the ball in a coffee can. Not a lot of room to shoot. Gets underneath the defender. Dangles his stick to keep it off the check. He recognizes it's a short stick. He doesn't have a pole to reach across the body and puts the ball again in that top right-hand corner. And now Coach Dunn decides to use his timeout, which I think is a great decision.
And we're going to take one with it. Huntington leads 6-1 early on. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention
We're back. Huntington leading 6-1. Face-offs are the story of the game so far. Kuzo doing a great job at the X. Coach Carroll and Coach Kensel, the 2 offensive coaches for Huntington, have to be pleased that they're getting almost everything that they want on the offensive side of the ball.
Damo had the ground ball for a moment. He had it poked away from him. Ball still loose on the far side. Let's see which way it goes.
Yeah, it looked like they may have blown that one dead because Damo was down. He's getting up now, jogging off the field. Looks to be okay.
So you made the point, Charlie, while we were in break, that Huntington is really having things go their way and getting everything that they want to get here in this first quarter.
Yeah, they're playing great off-ball offense right now. They're stepping into good spots. They're playing with their heads up so they could see the field, and that they've gotten at least 3 or 4 opportunities off of the 2-man game, whether it be from the wing or down low by GLE.
Kamenstein back behind the cage, sends it up top to Lennon.
Lennon with the pole. Shorty shows early.
Nice
Great.
feed in the slot. And there's a goal by Fox.
Yeah, Farmingdale obviously respecting Lennon. Not only does he have the pole, but you see the short stick showing early on his dodge. He doesn't even beat the defender. Farmingdale shows. Fox steps right into the space vacated by that short stick defender. Lennon play with his head up, chin on his shoulder, eyes inside, finds Fox. Great feed, great finish by Fox. He doesn't play with the ball in front. Ball hits his pocket. Ball leaves his stick, backside bottom bar. Great offense.
Logan Jenna to work against Kuzo. Kuzo's taken every face-off so far and won the majority of them.
Yeah, I think he won all of them with the exception of when he went early.
Procedure called on Curran, so Huntington once again is going to take possession. They've dominated this first quarter.
Yeah, dominating the first quarter, time of possession, face-offs, being patient on offense.
Under 4 minutes to go. Huntington up 7-1 here on the road at Farmingdale.
Yeah, when you're in a situation like this where your offense is dominating and you're on the defensive end of the field, goalies, close defensemen, you got to make sure you keep the communication up so you don't get stale at the other end of the field.
Kamenstein knocked off the play.
Yeah, Kamenstein dodges into a little bit of traffic there. Tries to feed at the last second. Huntington retains possession. 15 on the shot clock.
Lennon turns and fires. It goes wide.
Yeah, that's a good take by Lennon. Doesn't get a piece of the goalie or the cage, so there's no reset. 5 seconds. Huntington probably just going to dump it and set up their ride.
Ippoliti with possession. He'll look to get it ahead.
Yeah, Huntington playing a deep ride right now.
Gives it off to Hughes. Sends it to far side of the field. Long pass has overshot the mark, but it's scooped up.
Yeah, this is a big possession for Farmingdale, right? You don't want to rush. You just want a quality possession here. Get a good shot. Whether it goes or not, you just want to feel good coming out of this offensive possession. It's been a while since you've had the ball.
Renison, Cott, Sunday. I've barely mentioned their names up till now, Charlie.
Yeah, the bunch of these guys haven't even gotten a touch yet.
Kama is in there on the near side at offensive midi.
Kama with a short stick, forcing him to his left. Go early to flush the ball out of his pocket.
Renison turns and fires. Rebound by Kama. He puts it back in.
Yeah, Renison turns the corner right there, looking to shoot. Couldn't tell who from Huntington got the check in, dislodged the ball. Kama, eyes up. Right there, you'll see him eyes up, finds the ball. No decision, no hesitation. He knows from that spot he's a shooter. Rises up, puts the ball right under the crossbar.
As you mentioned, Charlie, big possession that time for Farmingdale. They made the most of it and cut it to a 7-2 deficit.
Yeah, so right now this game is being won in between the restraining lines, right? The face-offs, rides, clears. Farmingdale had, I believe, 3 possessions in this game. 2 goals on 3 possessions is a good percentage. They just need to find out ways to get more possessions.
Damo and Kuzo once again in the face-off circle. Kuzo's been dominant there, and he wins it once again.
Yeah, Kuzo living up to the billing right now. Coach Watts had a lot to say about him when we spoke to him on the phone on Thursday. Kuzo's living up to all the hype.
Under 2 minutes to play in the first. Huntington up by 5. Fox thought about it, backed it out. Klein, a couple spin moves. Gives it off to Fox. Tommy Smith in there at midi. Klein puts it wide off the ground.
Yeah, I don't mind the decision to shoot there by Klein. Dodging down the alley from where he started from. Losing some angle as he dodges down the alley, but not a bad shot. Back it up, retain possession. 15 on the shot clock.
McDonald spins. Nice save that time by Hughes.
That's a great dodge by McConnell. Now I hope for Hughes that inside stop settles him in a little bit. Huntington's been getting some great looks. Not his fault that some of these goals have gone behind him, but hopefully that one settles him in.
Hughes has really been under siege here in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Under a minute to play. There's a shot from Cott that goes wide.
Yeah, that's a great hitch step by Cott. Got the defender to commit to his downfield hip, stepped around him. I like that.
Dean Cott, described by Coach Dunn as a high IQ guy.
Yeah, high IQ guy, plays a little midi, plays a little attack, versatile player.
Cott spins at X, turns and fires. There's a save once again by Fallon.
Yeah, good question mark dodge there by Cott. Better save by Fallon.
Down to 10 seconds to play in the quarter. We'll see if Huntington can get another possession.
Yeah,
and they won't.
Nothing silly here.
Ippoliti ahead to Renison. Shot at the buzzer is no good, and that's the way the first quarter will end. Our score after 1 quarter of play, Huntington 7, Farmingdale 2. We're back with more right after this on T&D Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American Fare and Endless Cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Lessings Hospitality Group is a proud sponsor of T&D Sports with 9 restaurant locations across Long Island and represents a family legacy delivering 135 years of remarkable hospitality. Start of the second quarter on the Lessings T&D Sports Video Lacrosse game. Mike Trezza, Charlie Rizzuto. Really warm afternoon for this early in the season, Charlie.
Yeah, and I could see that playing a part in how this game unfolds. The guys are used to practicing in 40-degree weather. 70 probably feels like 90 right now.
But Coach Watts has to be happy with what he's seen up to this point.
Yeah, for sure. Kuzo goes out the back on that face-off. I think that's the first time he even attempted to do that, showing his versatility at the X.
Nice pass up ahead. It's broken up by Farmingdale back the other way.
Yeah, Farmingdale goes into their 10-man right there, puts some pressure on the ball. Huntington forces a turnover.
Goodrich carries it in, and they knock it off his stick.
Yeah, Goodrich loses the ball there and they're in transition. That's a possession that you want. You jump into your 10-man ride, cause some chaos, cause a turnover. You want a good offensive possession off of that. Farmingdale back in the 10-man.
Just underway here, second quarter. Blue Devils up by 5 on the road.
Yeah, so Huntington adjusts to that 10-man by dragging the goalie all the way up to the top of the restraining box, which left an empty net for about 5 seconds in the beginning of that possession.
Ippoliti got it ahead to Renison. That one goes off the side of the post. Hot shot from Renison.
Yeah, that was a good rip by Renison. That ball left the track, almost ended up on the baseball field.
Fallon with 3 saves in the first quarter.
Farmingdale in the 10-man. It's a good timeout by Coach Watts. Yeah. Coach Watts taking a timeout there. That's a great timeout. Farmingdale's been causing some havoc in the 10-man ride. You're about to lose another possession, getting rode out of bounds, cause a timeout before his players stepped out.
One of the things we mentioned, Charlie, we just mentioned it in passing as we take a look at this last play.
Yeah, this is a good rip by Renison. Not a ton of angle, but he thought he had a spot to shoot. Goalie responds immediately. I think he takes it off his shoulder. Good save.
With the unseasonably hot weather, has also brought out the bugs. You think that's going to be any type of factor here in the game as we see players sort of going like this in front of their faces?
Yeah, I think that might be a bigger factor for you and I than it is for the players right now. The players seem to be handling it well. But as is customary on Long Island, that first warm day you have, the bugs are out. They're everywhere. We see the scorers table, some of the coaches swatting bugs out of their face.
And as you know much better than I, especially at this time of the year, lacrosse players like it cool, right?
Yeah, but more so because you're used to it, right? Early season, weather's a little bit cooler, but this first hot day out on the turf, I don't know, this might benefit Farmingdale a little bit as the game unfolds because they might be a little bit deeper in terms of their roster.
10.5 left to go in the second quarter of play. Huntington, we talked about them in the intro, building on last year's success. They beat Smithtown East to advance in the playoffs, but then they lost to Hills as they did advance.
Yeah, I mean, that Hills team last year, and they got a lot of kids back. That's a fantastic lacrosse team. But it looks like Huntington has started this campaign hungry to not only get back, but take another step forward.
Kamenstein with the low bouncer that sails over the crossbar.
Yeah, that's a good take by Kamenstein. All right, Kuzo initiating the set.
Kuzo thought about firing. Instead, he gave it up to Kamenstein. They're trying to keep it in the zone, and they can.
Yeah, it looks like we have procedure here on Huntington playing without their stick. Farmingdale picks it up, pushes early, no advantage. settle down, go through your substitution patterns.
Quinn Sunday just had possession, number 15, the lefty. We haven't called his name yet.
No, not a ton. I get the sense that with the 10-man ride, the chaos the Dalers have been causing, they're starting to settle into their game a little bit. Let's see if they could go on a run.
Kama gives it up at X. They work it around once again. Comes to Schumacher. Asensio's in there as well.
Yeah, that's good offense. Two-man throwback. Schumacher's a left-handed shooter. You run that same action with a righty shooter. He gets it out of his stick maybe a step sooner. But again, good offense by the Dalers.
Got a whistle?
Yeah, I think that's another call on Farmingdale. Procedure, interference. Looks like Schumacher may have set a moving pick on one of the Blue Devils.
Chris Widello, Jim Sweeney, and Doug Schiller are officials working this game.
Yeah, it's early season for the officials also. They're doing a good job right now talking to one another, making sure they get it right.
Klein with possession on the near side.
Yeah, it looks like they're locking Lennon right now, which means they're just essentially denying him the ball.
That shot goes wide.
Lennon being face guarded at the top of the box. Deny him touches. We'll see if what Farmingdale does to get him involved or if they just choose to play 5-on-5.
Klein has Galgano on him. Kamenstein, they brush him off the play. Here's Klein. Turns and fires. Bounce shot is turned away. Ball's loose in front. Physical play in front. And it's put in. Put in by Kuzo.
Yeah, that one got the sideline fired up. So that's a great initial take. Ball gets loose in the middle of the field. Scrum. Ball gets batted by Kamenstein to Kuzo. That's a heads-up play by Kamenstein. On the replay, he looked like he did that intentionally. Little hockey pass to Kuzo on the ground. Kuzo picks it up. Good composure, finds his net, and buries the shot.
Here is Huntington's attack, Charlie. Kamenstein a goal, one for McDonald, one for Kuzo, one for Fox.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to win big games, you need production from your attackmen. My college coach used to tell me if you play attack, you should get 2 points on accident, right? You definitely want your attackmen to step up in a big game.
Kuzo once again with possession on the far side. Gives it off Kamenstein. Kamenstein works in the middle of the field.
Farmingdale locking Lennon on this possession.
Fox with possession. Backs up, now comes forward.
Tommy Goodrich locking Lennon. Goodrich, a good athlete. Coach trusts him to take that matchup away.
Ball is scooped up by Galgano, junior captain.
Yeah, the first junior captain since Coach Dunn has been at Farmingdale, which speaks volumes for his character and his leadership capabilities.
Farmingdale down by half a dozen, and they cut into the lead. Beautiful shot that time by Quinn Sunday.
I love that. I can't wait to see this replay. All right, so as it unfolds off the wing, got the backside cut by Sunday. He receives this ball in traffic, hides his bottom hand, shoots it from his ear so there's no trail check, and puts it in the backside side of the net. Yeah, you see him keep everything tight there, gets his back hip involved. That's a great cut. That's a better handle and a good shot.
8-3, Huntington on top. Just under 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
Much more balanced second quarter.
Sunday's on the board for the first time, and it's just cut it to 8-3 as Kuzo wins another face-off.
A good decision there to pull it out.
Tommy Smith works the middle of the field.
Yeah, they haven't gotten, Farmingdale hasn't gotten Goodrich over yet, so there's no lock on Lennon. Ball in Lennon's stick. Here comes Goodrich. They got numbers momentarily.
Lennon to Fox. Kamenstein thought about it, backed it out.
I am really, really impressed with the poise that Huntington is playing offensive lacrosse with right now.
They work it around the horn to the Blue Devils.
All right, no lock on Lennon, but they definitely have the pole on him. Galgano.
Fire high by Lennon.
Yeah, there's a good use of a pick there. Free Lennon's hands. Once he crosses over that pick, he's got his hands free. Shoot. Shot clock violation.
Is that the first one of those we've seen today?
First one we've seen. We almost had one in the first quarter. I'd say that's the first legit shot clock violation we've seen.
Long pass on the far side. Nice cut in the middle, and Sunday couldn't handle the pass.
Yeah, that's a similar cut to the cut he scored on. You feel the momentum of this game slowly starting to shift.
Fallon comes out, gives it off far side.
Huntington in there, Farmingdale in their 10-man, closing down space. Goodrich.
Nice dish in front, Sunday. Puts it low. There's a save by Fallon.
That's a good push by Goodrich. I like Sunday's patience there to shoot around the defender. It's a good save.
Tommy Klein is on the move back the other way. Down under 5 minutes to play in the half.
Unsettled situation there off the save. Farmingdale not enough time to get into their 10-man. It's an easy out for Huntington. This 10-man might be the reason why the tide is changing slightly in the momentum of this matchup.
Kamenstein is roughed up. Play getting a little physical.
Yeah, I thought I saw.
And there's a goal by McDonald.
I thought I saw the official reach for the flag, but he didn't pull it out. This is great backside look. Again, Huntington stepping into pockets where they could shoot from. Gets his hands back. He gets longer through his motion. Snaps his top hand to the backside top corner. Young kids watching at home, that's how you shoot from the wing. Gets his back hip involved. Back shoulder comes around. Looks like we have a stick check right now.
McDonald didn't waste any time and wait for Galgano to get there and check him.
No, that's what I'm talking about with the poise and the composure and the IQ that Huntington's playing with right now. They're stepping into pockets, but they're reading the play off ball. He knows he's a shooter before the ball's even on its way to him.
So, Chris Widello, Jim Sweeney, Doug Schiller, what are they talking about right now, Charlie?
So it seems like they're taking a break right now so the boys can hydrate. You know, as we were talking about earlier, unseasonable, not necessarily unseasonably warm, but the first warm day we've had. The other point to make that you got to remember is the season started a week later this year. Coaches typically have an extra week to plan and prepare, but it's the first warm day. Officials doing a nice job.
And the other thing we mentioned, we didn't really go very far into it, is the adjustment from last year to this year with the shot clock now being a factor.
Yeah, when we were talking to Coach Dunn, I asked him if they played in a winter league with the shot clock. He said no, but they practice with it all the time, and he was confident that his boys were well adjusted to it. Coach Watts brought it up as a key to the game on how his offensive players would adjust to playing with the 60-second clock.
This time Damo comes away with it.
Yeah, that's a good win. Good gritty win by Damo.
Damo says, you want to get low? I can get low too.
Yeah, we have a flag down right now. Look like maybe a slash.
So we'll see what the call is when we get there.
Yeah, value the ball right now.
And as you mentioned, if you're the Dalers, you have to make sure you get a quality look here. That shot is turned away. Fallon seems like he wants goalie crease interference.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that. He may have. That's a tight window to dodge into. He may have been close to the crease.
Let's see what the call is.
Yeah, I didn't see a call, and it was hard to hear. I thought I heard 30 seconds, so we'll see.
And either way, it's Kuzo in the box for 30.
Yeah.
Let's see what Farmingdale's man up looks like.
Yeah, right now they're in a flat 3-3. Good movement on the man up. Yep, step down.
Here's a shot. That goes high.
Yeah, Kama floats out to the backside. Once you saw him floating out, you know that that's what they're looking for, that step down stretch shooter. That's good man up.
And when that's Kama, that's some power behind that shot.
Yeah, he's a powerful boy.
This time he puts it in. Josh Kama.
Yeah, two things to point out on this replay. Number one, I love how Kama changes his location. He just took a shot 7 seconds ago, shot high. This one he puts down to the backside. And the other point to make is, even though the penalty was released, as you see the Huntington defender coming in late, Farmingdale's still man up at that point, right? So they still have their skip lanes. All of that is still available to them. So good skip pass, good shot by Kama. Really high IQ shot, changing his spot.
And as you mentioned, if you're the Dalers, you absolutely have to pay that off right there.
Yeah, 100%. That's a big spot. Dalers rise to the occasion, put one on the board.
9-4, under 3 minutes to go before halftime.
All right, Farmingdale not in their 10-man. Goodrich chasing Lennon, flags down.
One on each side of the field.
Looks like they blew it dead because Huntington was offsides. I don't know if they were offsides. They had 2 guys back, but it looks like they only have 6 forward. They may have been subbing, and the officials only saw 2 back and stopped the play because they were offsides. But we do have a flag down. Huntington going to go man up.
Penalty goes on Dean Cott of Farmingdale.
One minute.
So Cott gets a minute. First man-up opportunity for the Blue Devils.
Farmingdale locking inside.
Huntington works it around, looking for a good shot. They want to pay off this man-up opportunity. Everyone getting a touch here.
Yeah, Huntington rotates into a 3-3. They tried to wheel that right side. Didn't have the look they wanted. Rotated out to a 3-3.
Lennon's up top. Kamenstein on this side. There's a shot and a score. Tommy Klein. Tommy Klein tickles the twine.
Yeah, great rip by Klein. I don't mean to sound repetitive, but the poise that Huntington is playing with and the patience that they're playing with. They're responding and reacting to what's in front of them. Klein from the wing, time and room, low to high. You see the goalie dip down just a little bit, and then he's behind the shot.
Huntington leads 10-4. That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Yeah, that's a big 10-4.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Farmingdale has to be a little bit back on their heels at this turn of events. Kuzo, shot goes wide.
Yeah, good take there by Kuzo. Goes out the front again, pushes, has space. Shoots to the pipes there, right? When you're a shooter, the only thing you don't want is a save, right? You shoot, you score, that's great. You shoot, you miss the net. You hope your teammates back it up. A save is a turnover.
Minute and a half left in the second. Ball going back over to the Dalers.
Yeah, procedure on the Blue Devils. Couldn't see exactly what it was, but it was definitely a substitution foul.
Goodrich carries in. Stops and gives it up. Now feeds the cutter. Here's a save by Fallon.
Another save by Fallon. Bounce shot, off hip, off stick side. Reads it well.
Huntington back the other way. Kuzo carries in. Got a timeout. We'll step away. Huntington up by half a dozen.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. We're inside of a minute, Charlie. Talk about that difference between the game clock and the shot clock, sort of like the end of a half in basketball.
Yeah, so as Huntington comes out of this timeout, there's 59 seconds to go into half, 54 on the shot clock. I anticipate them to be patient here, maybe go with around 15 seconds to go in the shot clock, limit any opportunities for Farmingdale to get something before the half.
Again, whipping it around the perimeter. Kamenstein, low shot is a save.
Yeah, you get a reset on that. Fresh shot clock, 30 to go in the half.
Down to 25 seconds. Huntington looking for the last shot. Comes near side to Klein. Lennon up top. Back to Klein. Two-man game on the near side. Lennon tries to leave it for Klein. Ball gets loose for a moment. Kamenstein with the shot. He scores! Second goal for Jack Kamenstein.
And you see the Huntington sideline erupt when Kamenstein puts this one in. We're down to 1 second to go in the half. Kamenstein dodges the pole on the run from distance. A lot of heat behind that shot. Puts it under the bar, top left-hand corner. You see Coach Kensel and Coach Carroll on the Huntington sideline, all smiles after that shot and that goal right before the half.
Kamenstein, according to his coach, can really let it fly. He did just that on that play.
Yeah, he's a stretch shooter, feet set, on the run.
Possession for Huntington, and that's the end of the half. Our score after one half of play, Huntington 11, Farmingdale 4. We'll step away and be back with some halftime coverage right after this. This is the Lessings lacrosse game brought to you by T&D Sports.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4-Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4-Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4-Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better faster.
Halftime here at Huntington. Mike Trezza, Charlie Rizzuto, and Charlie, a little bit surprising score, 11-4, Huntington over Farmingdale here at halftime. One question about that. Number one, does this surprise you any? And number two, do you think Coach Dunn is surprised by that first half?
Yeah, this definitely surprises me, and that's not a knock on Huntington in any way, shape, or form. We talked in the opening, quality program, well coached, but 11-4 is a little shocking. I think Coach Dunn is a little surprised by this as well, knowing the talent that he has on his roster.
While we're getting ready for the opening face-off of the second half, let's run down quickly, Charlie, our scoring in the first half.
Yeah, so for Huntington, goal scorers, Lennon's got 3. Kamenstein has 2, McDonald with 2, Fox with 1, Kuzo with 1, Fallon has 5 saves. For Farmingdale, Kama with 2, Damo with 1, Sunday with 1, and Hughes with 2 saves.
Huntington picks up where they left off and they score. Kamenstein.
It's great to get an early goal to start the second half. Kamenstein gets the ball from the wing, puts his shoulder down. Shorty comes out to play him, runs through the stick, and again puts the ball low to that bottom bar. That's a tough save for Hughes to make. He gets to the middle of the field before the slide, could even get a stick in his gloves. Ball's out of his stick and in the back of the net. You can't really blame Hughes on a lot of these Huntington goals today. He's playing well, but Huntington's just getting to good spots with their hands free and shooting the ball to better spots.
J.J. Damo headed to LIU to play next year, but he's had his hands full here in the first half with Kuzo, who wins another.
Yeah, and there you see Kuzo's versatility, right? He's been exiting out the front a lot. I think that's the 3rd time he's gone backwards. When you have a face-off kid that's as gritty as Kuzo, as quick as Kuzo, with a bunch of tools in his toolbox, he's tough to stop.
12-4, just underway here. Third quarter from here at Farmingdale. Mike Trezza, Charlie Rizzuto.
Lennon with a short stick.
Lennon worked over on the way to the cage. That shot goes off the pipe.
Yeah, that's a great look. Again, Ippoliti shows early. They're really concerned with Lennon. They want to flush the ball out of his stick. Lennon with his eyes up finds the inside man.
Ball is jarred loose. Back the other way, Tommy Smith. Ahead to Lennon. Nice dish inside. Kamenstein couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Kamenstein took his eye off it a little too soon, but that's a good turnover by Huntington. Great look by Lennon. And not to underestimate the off-ball play there by Kamenstein, cutting to a good spot so Lennon could see him.
Weather's supposed to change as the afternoon goes on. We may get some rain a little bit later on, but for now it is getting a little windy. You can probably hear it in your headset, Charlie.
Yeah, 100%. I could feel it in the booth.
Kama comes into the offensive zone. Trying to get the shot off. Instead, they chase him behind the cage. Kama turns, fires. Here's the save by Fallon.
Yeah, that's another good take by Kama. They got to switch it. Kama initially had the short stick, get a switch. He's got the pole, puts his shoulder down, runs through a stick, gets to a good spot. Nice save.
Didn't seem like Kama was able to get a lot on that shot.
No, but in all honesty, when you're that close, you don't need to get a ton on it. There's a great split dodge.
That shot sails wide, and it's going to go over to the Blue Devils.
You know, one thing I'm impressed with Kama's game, aside from the things we've already mentioned, for a kid as big and as strong as he is, he's got really good feet.
Good ball movement, Huntington. There's a shot and there's a save by Hughes.
That's a great save by Hughes. Farmingdale went back to their 10-man, tried to cause a little chaos, create a turnover. Hughes stuck outside the goal, sprints into the goal, gets settled enough to react to the shot and make a big save.
Matt Hughes, first-year starter. Didn't have many saves in the first half, but had a big one right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Down to 8:45 left in the third. Farmingdale with some work to do.
Galgano on Lennon. Go early, he runs through to Shorty.
Lennon's shot goes wide. It stays with Huntington. McDonald trying to find someone up top. Lennon tracks it down.
Be smart here, 5 in the shot clock.
Lennon scores off the ground. Fourth goal of the day for Colin Lennon.
Yeah, shot clock winding down. Lennon dodges across the top of the box. Little jump shot bouncer. You see him here. Again, just running through sticks. The pick frees his hands up. Jump shot, bounce shot out on the top of the crease. So there's enough room for the ball to get underneath the crossbar. Again, just that little rub pick gets him free. It's a great shot. I love a good bounce shot.
Lennon with the fab 4 goals on the game.
Yeah, he's having a big day. Farmingdale's obviously focusing on him also, right? They tried locking him. They're pushing out on him a little bit with a pole when they get the opportunity to. Sliding to him, hedging to him, trying to flush the ball out of his stick.
Kuzo wins another face-off. Comes to Schnitzer. Now Farmingdale takes it over with Dean Cott.
Yeah, with a lot of these face-off wins for Kuzo being clean, I'm wondering if Farmingdale has a pole that they feel comfortable putting at the X, throw a check, create a 50-50 ground ball, and like their shirts say, try to own the ground off the face-off rather than trying to win the X.
Asensio sends it to Cott at X. They try to get it in front. And Huntington comes away with it. Keegan Malone.
Yeah, it looks like the ball's rolling towards the midfield line. Right, you don't want it to cross. Tried to stop it by knocking it back, but there's 2 Blue Devils chasing, so it was just available for them to pick up. There, you might want to sit and stop it, and then pick it up and run away from pressure rather than blindly just knocking it behind you. But again, just a kid trying to make a play. Just didn't go his way.
Klein with a spin move, a swim move, I should say. His shot goes wide. We've got a flag down in the play.
Yeah, it looks like we got 2 down, probably for the same call. Just 2 officials saw it. Yeah, we got a 30-second hold on Farmingdale.
So Huntington will go man up for the second time in this game. They were able to convert on the first one.
Yeah, they put their patience and their IQ on display during that first man up. I'm expecting more of the same. All right, Farmingdale's locking Lennon on the man up here. Also with Goodrich. That's, again, good offense.
Nice save by Hughes.
Yeah, once Goodrich pushes up to lock Lennon, they just wheel it on that left side, let somebody fall out. Couldn't tell who it was.
Shot by Lennon goes way high and wide. Six and a half left in the third quarter. Huntington comfortably in front and looking to pad that lead.
It's a good look inside. Couldn't tell if he missed the goal there. There's no reset, so Kuzo might have missed the goal on that shot. That's a tough spot to be in with your back to the goal, getting fed on the crease. Sometimes you have to get creative like that, like Kuzo did there.
Battle for it behind the cage. Huntington's going to keep it.
13 on the shot.
Tim McDonald puts it into play.
Oh no, reset. Foul resets the shot clock. Klein now being face guarded.
McDonald with a spin move, thought about it, backed it up.
That's a good use of Klein there, being face guarded, goes behind, big little game, sets a pick, see if they get a switch so they get the lock off of him or generate an opportunity for your teammate to push the corner.
McDonald tracks it down. Lennon, they double him. He has to give it up. And it skips past the stick of Kamenstein going over to the Dalers.
Yeah, that's a good job by Galgano, getting in the hands of the Huntington player there, disrupting that pass, causing that turnover. Huntington needs a good possession here. I said earlier in the game they just needed a good possession, whether it ended in a goal or not. I think they need a goal here.
Physical play in front of Fallon. Long clear. Nice ball movement. And a goal by Fox. Second of the game for Connor Fox.
Yeah, this is a great fast break. Pushing the middle of the field, surrounded by white jerseys. Hits the point man. Great skip pass to the backside. I like how Fox, again, steps into a good spot. The ball is in and out of the point man's stick. No cradle, maybe a little rock, but no cradle. He knows where he's going. He made his decision before the ball even entered his stick. That's just smart lacrosse. Listen, I'm super impressed. I know I've said it a few times, but I'm super impressed with the patience, the poise, and the IQ that Huntington is playing offensive lacrosse with right now.
Early season inter-county matchup. Suffolk coming over to Nassau for this matchup. Both these teams on either side of Route 110.
Yeah, the Battle of 110. Two programs, too, with a lot of history, a lot of tradition, a lot of great players, both at the high school level and at the college level and at the professional level coming out of these two schools.
We talked about Ippoliti with that number 40, Charlie. That's an honorary number here at Farmingdale.
Yeah, Ippoliti's wearing number 40. Matt Danowski years ago wore number 40. A whole bunch of studs wore number 40 in honor of John Kumacher. who is an All-American at Farmingdale, a 4-time All-American at Hopkins. He played for Team USA and the Philadelphia Wings. Coach Dunn was explaining how much pride the program takes when they hand out that number 40, and it's quite the honor for Ippoliti to wear it.
14-4, Huntington on top. Kamenstein with possession. Nice feed in the slot. And there's a goal. Joe Beckman is now in there.
Now that's trusting your teammate, right? Kamenstein dodges from Max. Good shake. Galgano, good recovery. Kamenstein fades to keep his hands free. Sees his teammate on the backside. Throws it to a spot that only his teammate can catch it. A lot of trust that he's going to handle it, and that's a good finish.
Beckman, the 5th attackman on this team, now getting in the game and now getting on the board.
Yeah, in games like this, right, 15-4, 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go in the third. This is a good opportunity to get some of your other players some game experience because you're going to need them as the season goes on, right? Maybe you get an injury, maybe the hot days in the playoffs, you're running a deeper bench. You want to get these guys some game experience as early as possible, and he makes the most of it.
I want to ask you, Charlie, about the value of scheduling a non-league, even an inter-county game like this early in the season. I mean, obviously, a loss is not going to hurt you that much in terms of the standings, the rankings, but it is a good gauge for your team.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, you want to play the best competition available, especially when you're a really good team like both of these teams are. So playing a game as competitive as this one against a competition as good as this one early in the season, it just makes you better, right? Coach Dunn and his team, they're going to get better from today. Coach Watts and his team, they're going to get better from today before they enter into their league schedule.
Under 3 minutes left in the third. Huntington up 15-4 and looking to add on. So if you're Coach Dunn, you have to have a message for these kids. Hey, you know what? We took it on the chin today. We're going to come back. We're going to make some adjustments, and we're going to figure things out. And we're going to get back to what made this program great last year and what's made this program great for decades.
Yeah, and even in between the third and fourth quarter, right, the message is you just keep playing, right? Don't worry about the score at this point. You keep playing. Make the play that's in front of you. Stay together, right? Keep lifting each other up. And finish the game strong.
Approaching 2 minutes left in the third. Farmingdale would love to put one on the board right here. Good defense that time. Parker Wands.
Yeah, that's a good play by Parker Wands. Again, good offensive structure there by Farmingdale, right?
Oh, we've got players ready to go at it at midfield. Play getting a little rough, and a couple players looking like they were ready to duke it out.
Yeah, definitely tied up. Cooler heads prevailed. Flag down. Couldn't tell if it was a cross check, high hit. This will at least be a minute.
Speaking of a minute, we're approaching the 1 minute to play mark in the third. Ball comes up top, Lennon. Lennon shoots. And Lennon scores.
Yeah, great dodge by Lennon down the alley. Comes out of his right-to-right split on the run. Slide can't get to him. And you could hear that one hit the post, right? Perfect spot.
Referee Chris Widello gives us the call. It's a 1 minute unreleasable. Actually, I think they might have picked it up.
I was just going to say the goal wipes that out. We're playing 10 on 10.
And we are down to 1:09 left in the third. This time, Damo comes away with it.
Yeah, Colby Curran at the faceoff that time for Huntington.
Cott on the near side looks for help from Renison. Cott and Renison both very quiet here this afternoon.
Yeah, limited touches.
Kama has space. Now he'll go to work. Has to give it up. Feed in the slot. That shot goes wide.
Yeah, that's a good look. Get a quick handle inside. Misses the goal. Shot clock and game clock are almost in sync. Looks like we got a reset there. Maybe the goalie got a piece.
Down to 15 seconds left in the quarter. Let's see if Farmingdale can get one more shot off. Kama. That's an easy save by Fallon, his 7th.
Yeah, it's an easy save. Really good job by Huntington all day long trying to force Kama to his left hand. I like the way Kama works back to his right, so he has a lot of net to shoot at rather than putting his stick to the outside. But Huntington doing a good job defending the big midi.
End of the third. We're going to step away, be back with the fourth quarter and all the action right here on the lacrosse game brought to you by Lessings Hospitality Group. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American Fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Start of the fourth quarter from here at Farmingdale. Mike Trezza along with Charlie Rizzuto and our T&D Sports Video crew to bring you this one. Season opener for Huntington, and they've shown themselves well.
Yeah, the call that we had with Coach Watts, he talked about how much they got out of their 2 scrimmages during the preseason against Hop Hog and against West Islip. And I got to say, it seems like Coach was right. It seems like they're definitely ready for the game today.
One thing we should talk about, Charlie, is getting your staff together and how important it is to bring in certain assistants to sort of improve certain parts of your team. You talked about that as it pertained to Huntington specifically.
Yeah, we were just talking during the break about Coach Carroll and Coach Kensel for Huntington. You know, Huntington brings in Coach Jack Kensel this year, And watching them play offense, it seems like they've taken on his philosophy and his identity a little bit in terms of how he approaches the game and how he teaches the game. So Coach Carroll, Coach Kensel doing a great job with this offense, and the boys have definitely bought in to the direction that they want to go.
Huntington back on offense. As you mentioned, Beckman, one of the backup attackmen, is in there. He got his first goal in the third quarter. Everybody else on offense scored for the Blue Devils. (16-4). 10.5 left in the game.
Just an errant pass.
Galgano carries in.
Yeah, first game of the year for Huntington, second game of the year for Farmingdale. These early games for everybody, it's just about learning, getting better, figuring out who's going to excel in what spot, what personnel groups you're going to use. Also, at the same time, when you coach at the varsity level, you also got to figure out what you do and don't want to put on film early in the season for other teams to scout you and learn more about you. That's a good skip pass.
Is a nice feed inside, and Cott can't get the shot off. Shot partially blocked.
Yeah, it looks like it's staying with Farmingdale.
To that point, though, Charlie, I want to ask you about this, which might sound like a strange question.
Oh, that's a good play inside. Good look. Looks like the goalie got a piece.
Is there a time as a coach that you might go with a less skilled player because he fits into what you're trying to do, your system, a little bit better?
Yeah, well, as a coach, you want to build. Oh, that got in.
As a goal by Farmingdale, Cons gets himself on the board.
Yeah, that's got to feel good. Kick the ball through X. Kuntz pushes to his right side immediately. Dips his shoulder, turns the corner. Little bouncer to the backside. Keeper gets a piece of it. Looks like it got stuck in his jersey for a quick second, but his shot had enough on it to get behind the goal line.
Coach Dunn had nice things to say about Jake Kunz. 6 foot, $195, sort of a utility all-around kind of guy.
Yeah, Coach Dunn really enjoys Kunz and everything that he brings to the table for the Dalers.
But getting back to the question I was asking you, are there times where even though a guy might not be as fast, as strong, or as skilled, you might put him in over a more skilled guy because he fits your system better?
Yeah, it depends on what the skill set is also. Like, as a coach, you have things that you like to do, but really the things that you do with your team have to fit their identity and their skill set, right? So coaching varsity lacrosse for as long as I did, from year to year, it wasn't a duplicate in terms of how we approached playing offense or playing defense from the year before. There were years defensively, we had the personnel where we could run a zone defense and we were a zone team. And then there were years where we had the personnel where it would better suit us to run a man defense, so we were a man team. So as a coach, you really got to craft how you're going to approach your team's identity to the personnel that you have. But more specifically to your question, yeah, depending on what that kid can bring to the table and the situation that you might put them on the field for, right? I know a lot of coaches have attackmen, maybe their fourth or fifth attackman, that they would try to sub onto the field just to help during a dead ball with the ride. And then if the other team clears the ball, they take them off, they get their offensive player back on to play offense when the ball comes back down.
And if you're Coach Dunn for Farmingdale, what can you take away from a game like this where obviously you were very, very successful last year, you're hoping to build on that, and you sort of get humbled a little bit on your own home field very early in the season?
Yeah, so I think in terms of the game as unfolded so far, there's a lot that Coach Dunn can take away, bring to his film session, bring to the practice field, right? In between the restraining lines at the face-off X, those types of things. But I think the real answer to that question is yet to be determined, right? So how do the kids finish? How do they finish this fourth quarter? How do they stick together? What does the locker room feel like after the game? So I think a part of that is yet to be determined.
Down under 8 minutes to play. Huntington looking to take some clock here, and then eventually they'll look to get the shot up and see if they can add on here just a little bit.
Huntington being really patient.
Clock running down, close to 7 minutes to go in the game.
There's a violation. Farmingdale looking to get out quick.
Nice feed inside. And there's a goal by Sunday.
That's a great play by Cott. Good finish by Sunday on the backside. Farmingdale comes down in transition, kicks the ball out to the wing. Cott steps in like he's going to shoot, freezes the defender, but again, playing with his eyes up, sees his teammate on the backside, receives the pass, subtle fake, and finishes around the goalie. Nice little pump fake right there, put it down around the goalie's feet.
Sunday's come early this weekend. Quinn Sunday with a pair of goals on the afternoon.
Yeah, Sunday's had a nice day. He's playing well.
16-6. Another face-off won by Huntington, but that one's going to get whistled down.
Yeah, I got a push on Huntington.
The other thing I want to ask you, and I think you're just the right guy to ask this question to, because you've coached in Suffolk and in Nassau. Any appreciable difference between Suffolk and Nassau in terms of the way the game is actually played and in terms of quality of competition right now?
Now, there's quality competition top to bottom in Suffolk and Nassau. Which county is deeper depends on the year, but in terms of competition, competitive nature, that's Long Island lacrosse, right? There's not a big difference between Suffolk and Nassau in terms of that, but Long Island lacrosse is some of the best lacrosse, if not the best lacrosse, top to bottom in the country.
I'm just trying to get you in trouble, Charles.
Yeah, I'm not taking the bait. I know too many people in both counties. I'm smart enough to stay away from that one.
There you go. The
Bring
man
it
is
together.
an educator.
Yeah, bring it together. It's Long Island. It's not Suffolk Nassau. Until the playoffs. Get that Long Island championship.
One thing I think both people in both counties would agree on is Long Island is always the hotbed of lacrosse talent, sending kids to major colleges all through the East Coast pretty much every year for decades.
Oh, yeah, every year. Boys game, girls game. You look up the top 20, the top 25, the top 5 in the college game, and you go down the roster. It's littered with Long Island talent. In my career, stocked. In my career, I was lucky enough for a few years to coach the Under Armour All-American Games, Team Long Island, for that tournament. And one of the first things we tell the kids every year is take pride in the fact that Long Island is on the front of your jersey. All-American Games now, the New Balance All-American Games.
Down to 3:40 left in the game. Huntington up by 10 here at Farmingdale.
Yeah, just an unfortunate mishandle there on the sideline. Huntington switched their goalie. Number 10, Brendan Ackerman in the cage, senior.
Huntington back on offense, and again, looking to take some time off this clock. Ball's knocked away momentarily.
Yeah, good defense there by Jake Mangio. He's a 1,000-point scorer on the basketball team here at Farmingdale, one of their defensive midfielders.
There's a shot. That one goes wide.
I like that take.
Dominic Martellotti, the backup goalie, now in for Farmingdale as well.
Yeah, Christian Luca on that shot for Huntington. Good step down. Brian Lynch, good shot from the wing. I like how Huntington's vary in their locations on their shots also.
We've got flag football action coming your way this Tuesday. Is that this Tuesday, Tom? I'm not ready for that at all. Patchogue Medford against Smithtown West. That should be exciting.
Yeah, flag football's growing all over the place, especially on Long Island on the girls' side. I got my daughter involved in flag football last fall, hoping she chooses to play again this one.
Certain districts on the island, it's becoming absolutely huge.
Yeah.
We did a game at Sayville last year. I looked up and down his roster. He had 45 girls on the team.
That's awesome. Sayville, obviously, their football program is tremendous, and it's nice to see their flag football program following suit.
Down to a minute 20 left in the game. Just want to mention, Charlie, as long as we're down to the last minute, Farmingdale's motto this year is "You need the ball to win." That is the motto of their player Tommy Goodrich, who was the son of Eugene Goodrich, who just passed away.
Yeah, Tommy Goodrich lost his father this fall, and that was his motto, and they've kind of embraced it for this season. But you have a great cross-crease pass here. Drives left-handed. Number 16 sees the slide go. He floats to the back pipe. Good finish, bounce shot right between the goalie's feet. That's number 16. Trying to find him on my roster, I apologize. James Larson, senior attackman, getting on the score sheet. That's got to feel good for him. You saw the sideline erupt when he put that ball in the goal, and you just saw him point to the sideline. That's one of the things I love most about sports in general, was the camaraderie, people getting excited for one another. It's nice to see him put one in and his teammates go crazy on the sideline.
Under 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and that's going to do it. Huntington rushes onto the field as they are victorious over Farmingdale here at Farmingdale by a score of 17-6. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that's a great win for Huntington. Boys are excited. Starting the season 1-0 is a big thing. And, for Farmingdale, they got things that they're going to go fix on film, but they're 1-1 right now. They competed hard. A lot of good things for Farmingdale during the course of the game, and they will 100% right the ship and move on to their next contest.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap this one up. This is T&D Sports High School Lacrosse coverage brought to you by Lessings Hospitality Group. Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. There you see our final score, Huntington 17, Farmingdale 6. A little bit of a surprise, Charlie, but Farmingdale now knows some things they have to work on.
Yeah, for sure. Farmingdale will fix what they need to fix. I'm fully confident that they're going to have a great season ahead of them this year.
We've got upcoming flag football action coming your way this Tuesday as Patchogue Medford takes on Smithtown West. That should be a good one. While we have a moment here, gives us a chance to tell you that our producer, director of T&D Sports is numero uno, Tommy Bruno. Our technical director, Jamie, the genius, Burkhardt. Our camera operators, Dave, Camera One Stempel, and Christian, Kanga, Rue. For everyone on our T&D Sports video crew, including my partner, Charlie, the shooter, Rizzuto, this is Mike Trezza, thanking you for watching. We will see you on Tuesday with some girls flag football action right here on T&D Sports.